I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world.
All right, folks. Let me get into a little bit quick intro here. There's a basic concept that I have to bring up to the floor before we get started. There's a lot of discussion in dating advice spaces that revolve around attraction, game, and frame. You hear these concepts repeated all the time, but the way that they're presented always skips an important, crucial step. Attraction gets a lot of attention because attraction is what gets you access. If someone's attracted to you, you're allowed inside the system. You get the conversation, you get the date, you get the opportunity to engage. But attraction alone does not explain how you're treated once you're inside the system. That's where many people get confused. Then there's game. Game is essentially orchestration of emotional engagement, the ability to guide interactions in a way that creates excitement or intrigue. The problem is that with productive people, they often don't have time to constantly manage emotional engagement and strategy. If you're building a career, running a business, managing responsibilities, you can't be somebody's social theater. You can't be a court gesture. And then there's frame. Frame is often described as maintenance of dominance or control of an interaction. But if we think about it clearly, frame is just status maintenance. You can't maintain status that doesn't exist in the first place. Before someone can maintain a position, they have to have that position assigned in the first place. That's where the hard model comes in. Hierarchical, attraction, rank, and direction. Attraction answers one question, which is access. Are you allowed entry into the system? But once you're inside the system, what matters is rank, your position assigned to you within the hierarchy. Rank determines how much respect you receive, how much resistance you encounter, and how much effort is required to move the interactions forward. Direction then determines where the interaction ultimately goes. What I've noticed in many discussions about dating skips straight to attraction and then frame without acknowledgement of the role or the rank at all. But if rank is low, attempts to hold frame often look like insecurity or posturing. A lot of times people will talk about delusional confidence. You just need to have confidence, have all of this confidence. The problem with that is that if you don't have the rank, if you don't have the status, if your status is not accepted, then that just looks like arrogance. It's framed as arrogance rather than confidence. So the question is, how do systems assign rank in the first place? And that's a part of what we're going to explore today. Travel is one of the fastest ways to see the difference between how systems operate. Because when you leave one environment and enter another, you begin to notice the assumptions that you are carrying about the world and how it works. And those assumptions influence everything from status signals to cultural expectations of how people behave and interpret behavior. So today I'm joined once again by Austin Holloman to talk about travel abroad and what it reveals about the system and the assumptions that many Americans don't realize that they're making. Let me get you up here with me. Welcome once again.
Good to see you again. Thank you for having me again.
You too. It's great to see you. All right, I guess I'll go ahead and get a little bit. Some people might not have been with us the last time around. Last time we talked, we were talking a little bit about friction. We were talking about the friction that we might experience in America. And now we want to kind of transition a little bit to the next level here about the assumptions that we have because we're born in this system. Like if you're a fish, you don't notice the water. Like you don't notice the water that you're in.
Okay.
So what's one assumption that Americans have about the world that completely collapses once you start traveling?
Well, like I said before in the last interview, for the people that didn't watch, one thing that we think about the United States is that it is the greatest country with everything that you need, and nowhere else is anything above a shithole country, right? And so we think everywhere around the world doesn't have except outside of Western Europe and maybe China and Australia or Oceania. People think that people don't have access to running water. People kidnap Americans everywhere you go. Somehow the entire world is all focused on organ trading and drug trafficking. Pretty much anything negative that you could think about any other country is what we think about the rest of the world. And then we think that everybody in other countries want to use us for monetary gain, which can be true. But my experience is not always true. It's not, at least not to the extent that people think.
I've seen so many clips. What you said there hits the nail on the head. I've seen so many clips, so many media presentations, basically citing exactly that, talking about how bad the rest of the world is and really scaring us away from interactions with other people outside of the States for the most part. What's the thing that surprised you the most?
What surprised me the most whenever I started traveling was how genuine people are in other countries and how much more of an abundance you have with your social life. Altogether. Some people may try to deny this, but the average American experience, and this was being written about before the term passport bros was a thing. People had been writing about, I had seen people write in blogs about how social life was collapsing in the United States, and not knowing your neighbor of 5 years was a pretty much normal scenario that we've all been in, where we don't know somebody that lives right next door to us, and we've been there for 5 years, as I said. So the outgoingness and just small acts of kindness with nothing expected in return is what was most shocking. And it's actually what caused me to want to permanently relocate as I have.
That's actually true. Like that, I've seen that in my own life. I would run into somebody that literally lives not even across the hall, but like the opposite door from me in the same apartment. I never knew she existed, like directly across from me. And that's common. Like we get into our own individual worlds, and a lot of what we preach here in the United States is rugged individualism. And that rugged individualism has a lot of deleterious consequences that go along with it. I wonder if there's also, have you noticed a lot of diversity when you were traveling, like a lot of ethnic diversity? Like Africa is not a country, it's a continent. So there's all kinds of phenotype. You'll see shorter people, taller people, all kinds of different body types. You'll see different types of cultures that exist over there. And the interactions can be different. So what are some of the things that you noticed in terms of the cultural differences out there while traveling?
If we want to talk about cultural differences, I've noticed that the New World, which is pretty much all of the Americas, is more culturally similar to what we have in the United States, but is nowhere near similar when it comes to individualism and all that kind of stuff. They have more of a community there. But in the old world, which is Europe, Asia, and Africa, that is going to be the most of a culture shock. I had my biggest culture shock, I believe I had my biggest culture shock whenever I was in Tanzania. And I was around, and like you said, there's a diversity. Because you kind of asked me two questions. So diversity in Africa alone, most people think that Africans are the skin tone that is darker than mine and nappy hair. When really, you have Somalians that are African that have looser hair curls than me. Some of them are more light skinned than me naturally, even without the Arab mix. Some of them are light skinned, and some of them are even as dark as this water bottle with the same kind of loose curl hair. And if you look at people in Ethiopia, they look very similar, very, very similar to Somalians and Eritreans, but they look nothing like Ugandans, if you ask me, even though that Uganda is closer to them. And then if you go over to Namibia, you have mixed people in Namibia and Mozambique, Angola, South Africa, what they call colored, which is what we call mulatto, basically. You have more of that down there. And then you have some people in West Africa, like in Nigeria, that has a naturally light skin tribe there, unlike the other tribes around it that are all dark skinned. So yes, there is a diversity whenever you travel And especially if you go to places in South America, I would even say it's more diverse than the United States just because there's more mixing that goes on there.
Yeah, like Africa has the most genetic diversity in on any other continent. On top of that, I remember seeing something about a particular tribe. They look Asian, like their facial features look
The
actually
Nama tribe,
Asian. What was that?
the Nama tribe in Namibia.
Yeah, that might have been it. Like, people would assume that, oh, okay, well, maybe some Asians came over here. No, it's vice versa. Like that tribe is actually older.
Yes. Yes. I mean, the only Asians that were known to had come to Africa came from Oceania, and then they went to Madagascar. But I mean, we could even say that some of them came from India during the time of the Silk Road and went to places like Somalia. But that's a whole nother. That's different.
Definitely. Have you noticed something different in some of the hospitality norms, like tip culture? Like, does tip culture exist the same over there?
No,
No.
it's a handful of places I've been to in the world where the tip and the guilt trip of tipping somebody is a normal thing. They kind of expect it in, actually, I don't even think I can really think of too many places off the top of my head. Usually the tips are 10% in most places I've been to around the world. That's why if you walk by restaurants, they're harassing you about coming to eat there, not because they, believe in the food so much, because they get a 10%. So if they can get 100 shillings tip in Kenya and they get 10 people, they make $7, which is nothing to us. But I mean, that's okay. That's kind of okay to them. It's not really that good of a life, but it's okay. So tipping is not really a thing. I mean, maybe if you go to Western Europe, it's more. When I was in Portugal, in Turkey, they have a scamming tip culture. When I was in Istanbul, I remember they had a 50% tip on a restaurant. I'd never eat there again.
Like over here, I think it like starts at somewhere around like 18%. Like that's just
Mhm.
like starting. And then from there, it's like, oh, do you want tip 21%? Do you want tip 25%? It's some crazy amount, a crazy percentage that people pretty much expect, and they expect it with like terrible service sometimes. Like they'll go and they'll treat you like they're doing you a favor by actually giving you your food and servicing you while you're paying money for it. Like it's like they're like you're their customer instead of vice versa sometimes.
Yeah, I
Particularly in some
mean,
of the higher end places. Like the more you're paying, the more they're treating you like you're like you're the one that's doing the service. It can get
yeah, I
crazy.
mean, that's because I know this isn't going to be the same thing, but I know in America we're basically uh, working for tips in America versus in Brazil or Kenya, I believe they get a base pay plus commission.
I like it if they just do it that way and then just let the price be the price.
Yeah.
So what is some? I noticed that I remember back in one of the streams you did, you came across a school and the kids were like so well behaved and they were excited to see you all. And I mean, can you talk to me a little bit about some of that, about some of those community structures and the how the kids are, for people that are interested in perhaps like pursuing a family transition where they go and then move their family to another place.
I mean, so I believe what you're describing is whenever I was in Kenya, when I was in Nairobi, Kenya, and we went to Kibera. And if you guys know, for most Americans, whenever we see Kenya, we either see two things. We see the safari on National Geographic, or they're showing us Kibera on National Geographic and showing us how poor the people are in that area. So we went there. It is poor, but I mean, National Geographic is horrible, man. They make it look way worse than it really is. I'm not saying it's the greatest place in Kenya either, but I think you get the point of what I mean by Western media, how they portray Africa. But there, again, there's less of an individualistic culture there. The kids are a lot more respectable. They are safe, from my understanding, from what I've seen, walking home from school. In the United States, it is pretty much an idiotic move to allow your 5 or 6 year old kid to walk home from the school bus. So there, that is still, even when I lived in Kitisuru, which is in a fancier part of town, there was still kids walking home from school. The most that those kids had to worry about is getting hit by a car, and that's pretty much a global danger with kids walking home from school. But can you go further in depth about what exactly you're asking with that question?
Oh yeah, so I was kind of getting into the difference of the community for people that are interested in moving their families along with them, because the big thing, it is like a big thing for people about how their kids are going to grow up and how their kids are going to come into contact with different things that exist within the structure that they're in. Like over here, you can have like kind of a pretty much you could be a fairly conservative parent, and then you send them off into school, and then they're going to get exposed to something that's the complete entire opposite.
They're trying to do that in African countries and a lot of other countries around the world, but luckily, places like Kenya, they're having a pushback with that. Like, I don't think you're going to have a drag queen talking to kindergartners in Kenya. I truly hate that stuff. I really hate that stuff a lot. I've never understood. What is a drag queen going to talk to a 6-year-old about?
Well, I mean, on top of that, it's the whole concept of gender flatness, like putting things in a sense, just basically indoctrinating people into believing that you're both the same, that you both have the same utility, the same wants, the same desires, and it's just not real. It's not true. It's anathema to reality. Like, men and women are different things that want different things. We both have value. Both of us have value, but we are not the same. But it gets pushed at, it gets pushed all the same.
You can always test it. I mean, have one of those liberal women that are so gender fluid walk around with a man and then have another man come slap her and see if she's going to do something, or is she going to expect you to do something about it? Now the fluidity is gone.
Yeah. That's what happens when reality hits. Like, reality, that's a pun almost. Not pun intended. But yeah, that reality makes a lot of that stuff go away.
Correct.
But let me get to another one that I had. So this is kind of like dealing with the Iran conflict. I remember that we had a brother on. If you don't mind, it's like a little short clip. It's like from one of your interviews. Can we play that?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. Let me see if I can find the one. This is the one.
So yeah, one thing I could tell you though that surprised me, and this is not the most positive thing, but in terms of like evacuations.
Can you pause this?
Where I'm at.
Oh yeah, let me pause it.
So yeah, I can't play that specific clip. I'll tell you in the back chat why. Can we just summarize what he was saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me remove it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I took it off.
Can you tell me what you were getting at with that though? I'm putting something in the back chat.
Yeah, it's the assumptions that we have. Like, we might see some of these films and movies and have all of these ideas about how the government structures will come and rescue us whenever anything goes wrong. And then what he was kind of explaining is that it doesn't necessarily end up playing out that way. Sometimes you might see other governments. You'll see the French go and get their people. You see the Italians go and get their people. You'll see all these other people get their people. And then you're sitting there holding the bag like, where's the cavalry that was supposed to be coming for me?
Yeah, so I actually did a video about this last year. I think it was maybe last June or July. And a lot of foreigners that are not, well, a lot of non-Americans have this thought that they've watched movies and they've seen movies like 13 Hours and what was the movie, Benghazi or something like that. It's the one in Libya, and they see these people coming with M16s and shooting people from the roof of the embassy and a helicopter airlift. Yeah, that shit has not happened that many times throughout history. Like, I think the only successful time that we were airlifted out of a country, correct me if I'm wrong, was in Vietnam. That was 50 years ago, almost. Since then, there have been numerous accounts where Americans have been in Sudan, Yemen, Kuwait, and war has broken out, or maybe their country started getting bombed, and the embassy leaves without even notifying anybody. And then again, so if you're caught in a war zone, they don't even, as much as they tax, like right now, I'm not living in the United States. I still have to pay taxes in the United States and file for taxes. So you get taxed on income that you make worldwide. They make trillions. I think it's somewhere around $16 trillion in taxes annually. And they don't even buy you a flight. They don't buy you a flight. They give you a loan and you have to pay them back.
That's crazy when you think about, like, you pay your tax dollars and you still have to pay for your own flight to escape.
And meanwhile, what he was saying in the interview, countries like Ethiopia, I believe Texas has a better economy than the entire country of Ethiopia. They got their citizens out for free.
And
Ethiopia
could afford it, but U.S. can't.
Yeah, I was telling my girl this the night before last, where she was saying, like, being a U.S. citizen, you're protected everywhere. We can verify that. There's plenty of times that we've been kidnapped and they didn't do shit about it.
I think it's the celebrities that give the false impression, like people will look at like Brittany Griner or something like that, and then everybody will project the treatment that the celebrities get onto everybody American.
And she only got that treatment because she was black and gay during the Biden administration. I guarantee you, if she was not gay, we wouldn't even know who she was. But that's part of the left's agenda, is we're talking about drag queens coming to the school. And so it was strategic. Not that Biden is like a fan of transgenders and all that. Because you remember when they tried to go to the White House naked, he didn't like that. But it was strategic, which is what I've been telling people about this war in Iran, but that's another topic.
I think that the social designers, they kind of play around with the dials a little bit, and then when they go and they move something, they're not really the most sensitive. They don't know how to move the dials quite right, so they end up swinging stuff too far, and then they end up having to overcorrect, and then they have to swing it back again. I think that that's a little bit of what we're seeing with the whole gender flatness thing. And then when people see like their kids in dresses and they're like, nope, not gonna do it, and then the pendulum shifts the other way.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I think they went a little too far for sure.
All right, so let's connect things a little bit back to my HARD model. Do you think that status or rank signals change when somebody leaves the United States?
Do I think that status changes when somebody leaves the United States?
Yep.
100%. Just going back to what I said a minute ago, the fact that she thought that I was protected anywhere in the world, wherever I go, shows you her perceived status of Americans. Like, that she didn't say this, but in her mind, like, you can't fuck with us, or the whole village is going to turn against you. You did something to an American. That's not how it really is. So we have a perceived status of being untouchable. They think we're all millionaires. They think that if they, for example, when I was in Rwanda one time, I pay with my Cash App card because it's a prepaid card. So I'm a step ahead of people that want to overcharge when they use a card machine. And this dude was like, your card was declined. And I was like, there's no way. I put the amount of money, which was the equivalent of like $50 US. I don't know how many Rwandan francs it was, but he put somewhere from, I think it was maybe 20,000 of their francs. He put 20,000 francs, US dollars instead of francs, and said it was a mistake, which is a hell of a mistake. I mean, that's a hell of a mistake. And so,
man, I didn't
that's
even get down to like the whole like US or expat tax type thing that people try to run. Like when you come in there walking through the door, then suddenly you get one price, but then a local comes through and they get another price, that type of thing.
Yeah, and so that goes back to the status where they think that, yes, I mean, globally we are at the top of the socioeconomic, you know, we're at the top of that, yeah, but there's levels to that. Everybody that's walking in is not, or everybody that's from the United States is not Elon Musk. You know, you got some people that's janitors in the United States, and you got some people that's Elon Musk. But they think that we're all like that. And they think that I've heard a lot of foreigners say, "Oh, I don't want to earn in Kenyan shillings. I want to earn in dollars." Hey, there's levels to dollars. I mean, I can pay you $500 a month. You're gonna have the same lifestyle you have living in Kenya. You ain't shit gonna change. So I mean, they think that dollars means $1 million basically.
Yeah.
So that, and then there's another. I mean, what is another aspect of status? I mean, we want to talk about the dating pool that you have. All of those things I just described combined. If we want to include the passport power, which is not number one, I believe it's somewhere around 10 or 11 or even lower. They figure that if they get a U.S. passport, they have a baby with you, like they basically made it. They feel like they made it.
Dang, 10 or 11, like we're like way down. We're not even like number 2 on the list.
Yeah, we're nowhere near number 1. I mean, let me look it up. What is the U.S. passport ranked? Because I believe Japan is number 1. Is okay, so we're number 10 out of 167, which isn't bad, but it's not what's sold.
That's crazy, because like everybody thinks, I mean, even us here, like I would have thought that we were in like at least the top 3.
Well, it goes back to our culture where so 2026 for this year is Singapore is the number 1 passport. And that's because I believe maybe it's even geopolitical. I mean, when was the last time Singapore bombed another country? You know, so that may play a part into it as well. But it goes to back in the United States. We believe that we are the best at everything, and there's nowhere else that could be better. That's why we think that we have, like, again, there's this lie being sold that you have to have fossil fuels to power the country. There's a country named Uruguay in South America that nobody knows about that is 98% renewable energy, meaning that they don't use coal, gas, and oil.
Whoa, that makes them an actual model for what we were trying to accomplish with that lower carbon footprint.
But the reason that you don't get that happening in the United States is because we have a very fair country, but we have a lot of lobbying and people that own billion-dollar businesses that want to continue to sell the lie that it's going to be impossible to switch from fossil fuels to electric or windmill. And then they'll probably even go as far as assassinating you if you get too close to, interrupting their money flow.
Oh, that gets into a whole nother dynamic that I call like the illusion of choice. Like you'll have a choice between like 2-3 candidates or whatever, but they're all paid off. They're all bought off. Like your options are the person that I bought over here or the person that I bought over there. Good luck with that.
Yeah. I mean, they're all bought off by either Israel or the Epstein. Well, he's dead now, but same thing.
Yeah. Same type of folk. What are some of the things that we can do to either signal or not signal our Americanness to kind of like modulate some of that status signal? Sometimes it can be kind of like a good thing, like where we can get the benefits of our social interactions. Other times it could be not such a good thing when we're out shopping.
Wait, what exactly do you mean by signaling?
I mean, like what you wear or how you present yourself in a way that would indicate that, yeah, I'm actually an American?
I mean, honestly, bro, I'm gonna be honest. Especially as a Black American, it's gonna be hard to find. It's gonna be hard to find ways to completely go stealth because we have a different level of confidence. We walk a certain way. Because I know when I see one of us, it's kind of hard for us to hide. Even if you dress like a local, like we still are different, and I don't know if you could really get rid of that. But I mean, the way how you can combat that, you say if you're out shopping. Last year, I recently learned how to negotiate, and I negotiate like the locals. I give them I pay them the bare minimum, the same way they do each other. They selling the couch for 1,000 shillings. I'm gonna walk out of there paying 400.
That brings up something that I didn't bring up last time around that I really should have, which is the things that you should do before you actually go out and travel, like for real. Like things like figuring out how to negotiate, things like respect for other people's culture and how you present yourself and the others in your group in an actual positive way, like things like that you should kind of like go down like a checklist of this check, that check, that check. Now I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about us, I would like to make an analogy between us and Nigerians. Like you always know a Nigerian whenever you see one, not strictly because of how they look, but because of how they behave. They are very fucking entitled, like very entitled. I've ran into them all over the world. They got a hell of an ego, and so we're very confrontational. Like America has like a lot of tension. There's a lot of violence in America, so it causes us to be it causes us to behave in a way in a place where like Kenya, where we stand out a lot because of how confrontational we are compared to them. So I don't think it's gonna be. I don't know if you could fully blend in. I think you could just not look like a lick.
Yeah, I guess it might not be entirely possible to go stealth. And I guess sometimes it's gonna help you, and sometimes it's not. It's gonna play out a little bit against you. But I think that as long as you because we're actually not what people present us on TV. Like we're actually like a really good people in total, in aggregate. Like there's just like some like outliers or whatever, and that's what hits the news, and that's what hits like social media, and that's what hits all these different things. But like for the most part, we're a pretty productive and respectable group of people, and I think and you know more than I do on the travel space. I think that the vast majority of us present that when we're traveling abroad.
I would agree. Correct. Yes, the majority of us are not acting like what you see on TikTok. I would agree. But I think that they know that already. But some of them don't. Like I remember I was in Namibia at the Spars restaurant, one of my favorite restaurants in Southern Africa, and the guy was literally asking me if I had a Switch.
Oh no!
Yeah. So that's what they think about Black Americans. Like he thinks I have a fucking. I don't even really know what a Switch is. Is that it switches the gun from semi-automatic to automatic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. See, I don't even know what it is, but they think we all got one. They think that we're over there. As soon as you walk in the house, we just skipping over and dodging bullets and hiding behind cars.
You know what? I kind of think that this is why more people need to do more traveling, because it can kind of dissolve some of these stereotypes a little bit faster, because we have stereotypes that we have about them, about, oh, hey, it's so violent in these other countries and yada, yada. You have to duck and dodge. And then they have these same kind of ideas about us, like we're on some type of Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome type ish, some some sort of whatever. Pick your favorite ridiculous movie or TV series like Power or whatever.
Correct.
But travel can kind of dissolve some of that because you can see people in real life and see that, hey, movie is movie, reality is reality. Those are two different things.
Yeah, I mean it is, but honestly, man, the longer I stay out of the States, it's been a full 2 years next month since I last visited. And like, yeah, like I remember, okay, I see the videos on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram of like violence happening, and I consciously know that it's not everywhere you go every day like that. But man, I have to go back in May and looking at those videos, I'm like, damn, I don't really know if I want to go back. Like I'm thinking about the Switch thing now. I remember seeing this dude that got killed with one of those, with somebody that had one of those on this gun. And yeah, I don't know if I could ever go back there, like to like really stay there. I highly doubt it. Like you got
we did have a crackdown, like, so it's like, you know, like last month was basically Mardi Gras or whatever. So like the police kicked up in the high gear and ended up like catching a few people that had switches and stuff. They thought that they were going to kind of go and, you know, cause some trouble, you know, while they were running through with the Mardi Gras parades and all that jazz. But they went ahead and, you know, hit them up. They got them, arresting them, whatnot. So they do exist, but they also get a crackdown on it from time to time. What are some of the differences that you noticed in family roles?
It depending on where you're at, man. I've already said this a few times on my channel. These other countries, people live for their families. Like, you know how the Asian kid in high school, I don't know if you went to school with Asians, but the Chinese kid or the Vietnamese kid, they ask, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? My dad says I need to be a doctor. Like, I find that a lot of people in the old world, such as Africa, to be specific, live for their family. Their family, listen, their family can dictate what they fucking think. You know, I don't know how to describe what I'm trying to say, but it has been too many times in Kenya and Tanzania where decisions are made around what their family will think of them, versus with us, I don't listen. I've been sent to alternative school. I've been suspended many times. The last thing I was thinking about is how they made my mom and my dad look. It matters. I didn't care. That wasn't what I was thinking, but they do. So the family plays a major role. Like, they're not in America. We're more so laissez-faire, or families are not present. You know, majority of families are more laissez-faire, I think, in America, or they are single parent households. It's very rare to see a full family in one household where the parents are strict. I haven't seen that in a while.
I just thought about something that you kind of like brought up when you brought up school. Like, isn't it true that like in some of these places you actually have to pay for like not even like college, but like for like your like the high school type stuff and you know some of the what we would call all that education that isn't even like college education for the most part. And I think that sometimes that scarcity, like that additional people have to pull resources thing, can kind of bring people together.
You're saying like, do people have to pay for school, essentially? Yeah, I mean, it depends on where you're at. I mean, in Latin America, from my knowledge, I believe they all get free school. Certain parts of Africa don't. I think majority of Africa does not have free school, which is why a lot of Africans tend to have low IQs. Not that they're not capable of being intelligent. It's just, I mean, we can all agree, school makes you more intelligent. Now, there is a natural IQ that you have. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I might just be talking. But yeah, like in Kenya, they have free education. In Tanzania, they don't. You know, I've ran into people that were trying to sell stuff in the market, didn't even know how to add up my total. Talk about being taken advantage of. They are vulnerable to that. We obviously know in the DRC they don't have access to free school because the kids are busy working in mines. But in Southern Africa, they do have free school. There's places like Botswana that are very similar to what you would see in the United States. It's, the city of Gaborone was like a suburban city. You know, everybody had their own car. Everybody was well educated. So it depends on where you're at when it comes to Africa. I'm not too sure about Asia, but yeah.
So you definitely have to do your research when you're deciding on where to go, it seems. I think that that IQ thing, it irks my nerves a lot of times, like because I hear some of everybody talk about IQ. I think even like Jay Rillo said something about it, and I was like, what the hell does he know about IQ? Like, I actually had my IQ tested like multiple times growing up, like at different points in life where like, oh, okay, this is my score, and that's my score. And then like by the time I was like a full-grown adult, it was like 141, you know. And so when I looked into it some more, I mean, not talking about like back then, but like recently, I ended up kind of realizing that, oh, okay, like 40% of that is about environmental. You know, a good 40% of it is based on environment, and it makes a whole lot of sense, because if you're going to live in a place that has a whole lot of lead paint, if you're going to live next to an industrial site with all these heavy metals, if you're going to have all kinds of toxins that are nearby that you're breathing in, if you're not exposed to taking tests over and over again, that's going to affect it. So there's like all of these other things that go into IQ.
Yeah, that's a good point to be made. Yeah, environment plays a part as well.
Yeah. So what is, because I can never stop harping in on this, what are some of the cost assumptions that people have about travel?
Yeah, and again, this is something I've been complaining about with people that have been inquiring for consultations with me. There are large amounts of people that don't have $300 to spend, $400 to spend, $500 to spare, yet they want to relocate to Kenya. So if you don't have $500 to spend, you are walking into a damn trap. Oh, the average Kenyan is living for $200 and $300. Go right ahead. If you think that, go try it. Go try to live in Nairobi with $500 a month budget, and you're gonna be taking one of them loans out from the embassy to go back to the United States, because it's not gonna work. So people think, especially when it comes to Africa, they think that they can go live in Africa for $1,000 a month. You can live. You ain't gonna be doing shit. I was just telling my girl about this, about how literally I've been here for 3 weeks in Colombo, Sri Lanka. I just went on my QuickBooks to see how much I've spent, because I pay with card on my taxi. How much have I spent on the rides that I use 2 to 4 times daily? In 3 weeks, I've only spent $146 at this time, because I just checked it.
Wow.
In Namibia, it's at least $50 per week with the same habits and routines that I have. So in a few days, I'll be leaving here, but that means probably in about a month, I might spend around $170 or $180 on taxis here, versus in a place like Namibia or Kenya, that number will be somewhere closer to $200 to $300 with my habits. But again, it's the same habits, different costs. If you want to come to Sri Lanka with $1,000 a month, you won't be doing that much, but you'll have a better life than living in Africa, because again, Africa seems cheap. It seems cheap until you actually start living there, and you see how much more expensive things are on the basic stuff.
Well, I imagine that there would be some things that, like maybe certain electronics and stuff like that, that maybe don't get over there for various reasons, maybe some sort of trade issues and things of that nature. So that makes a lot of sense there. I guess, in a way, people need to bring the right mindset. For most people, it'll probably just be bringing the mindset that they already have, and their productivity and their general basic plain old common sense with them, and not believing that everything's Disneyland. I think people do the same thing when they come to the US. They think that the US is some sort of a Disneyland when it's not. So it's something that could work on both sides.
Yeah, both sides there's a severe ignorance to both sides. I mean, there's Africans and there's Latinos and Asians that think that I just walk outside and see Beyonce. Like, it's craziest shit ever. I mean, nowhere in the world is like that. I was just in Dubai. It's not even like that. There's nowhere in the world. They think we live in El Dorado, paved streets of gold. Really, when you're there, we got the same issues that are a lot more intense. We just talked about switches. We got people getting killed the same way people are getting killed in other places. Really, the only benefit you're going to get to going to America is a better economy and a fair justice system. Some Americans like to say that the justice system is not fair. Yeah, go to Kenya. You go to Brazil. Go to those places that basically mimic what the justice system looked like in 1920 in the United States. The United States is definitely a free and fair country. And some people don't understand that until they go get scammed for real estate in Ghana, and the police ain't doing nothing about it. In America, somebody scam you, they go into prison for that.
What's the main, like, I guess closing out, like kind of in the closed thoughts section here, what is one assumption about the world that you really wish Americans would question?
Oh, we're gonna have to narrow that one down. We're gonna have to narrow that. That could be a lot. Yeah, that could be a lot. Well, be a little more specific, because we could talk about. No, yeah, let's narrow that one down first.
Okay, all right. I guess we're looking at like the most important one, like the one that is above all that you wish that they would just question or downright get rid of, that ridiculous, that one aggravating assumption.
I mean, like I touched on earlier, that the rest of the world is nowhere near as advanced, misunderstanding the concept of first, second, and third world. I'm gonna go over it again. The first world is the pro-Western democracy, if we're talking about Cold War era. The second world is pro-Soviet Union, and the third world is places like Namibia that didn't really have a side on either side during those conflicts. Nowadays, it's more economic, and people think that, hey, in third world countries, like, you can't have access to a PlayStation, or you can't have access to fast internet. You can't have access to YouTube at all. You can't have access to paved roads. There's no working toilets. That's what a lot of Americans have on a third world. And where I'm at right now in Colombo, Sri Lanka, this country was almost a failed state. I think that was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, they almost collapsed. That's how bad the country was doing. And they have great infrastructure to say that they're a country that was literally just about to collapse. So I think they can't really drop the assumption. People just have to actually just travel, and don't travel to a resort. Stop buying what are those guides? They go on Yahoo or Airbnb and they get a 7-day tour. I know some dudes that's bought, for whatever reason, they didn't go through me, and that was a mistake on their part. And they decided to go and buy a 7-day tour, and they came to Kenya and they saw, the Masai Mara, Serengeti, the giraffes. And they said Kenya was boring. Well, look at what you did. You didn't come to Kenya to socialize. You came to look at rocks and animals. So you need to actually come with a purpose of actually interacting and see how day-to-day life is there. Travel with the intent of, can I live here, rather than going to a resort.
Yeah, if you go to the resort, then you are going to get that Disney experience, and then you're going to think it really is Disneyland, and it's not. On top of that, kind of like circling back in on this whole thing that the media projects, actually Kenya having like nature and actually having skyscrapers around, within close proximity is actually like a benefit. So you don't have to be stuck in the whole concrete, artificial scenery all the damn time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's the national park is basically within the city of Nairobi. So yeah, Nairobi is still the best place in the world to me. Like I've been to 32 countries now, and it's been hard to beat. It's really the best place. But staying there long term, man. Again, when you start living in places, you look at them differently. I still love it, but if it's not my habits being my bad habits being amplified when I'm there, it's some of the issues that come with living in Africa that you start to notice.
Oh,
But all you have to do is take a break.
Oh, yeah. Let me see. I think there might be a few people that might want to come up if you have time.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, let me see if I put that in post. Give them a few minutes. Particularly like Tone Runner. I know he's in here somewhere. I want to see what he had for breakfast. Hear all about those coconut pancakes.
I see this guy, NJ Confidential. He's a guy trying to debate me on Twitter about supporting the Ayatollah. I don't know. That's a whole nother debate. But I'm seeing large amount of Americans that are, I recently discovered why Trump is doing the ICE thing. I talked to a Nigerian that was studying in the United States, came and utilized our system, and now is shitting on the United States, hoping for the Islamic regime to put down the United States. These are the people that are coming to our country.
Yeah. I mean, this is
the experience that I had directly. Like, this is not something I saw on Fox. So I was like, oh, these are the sleeper cells that they're talking about. These are the people that has been in the country, don't like it, and will be blowing shit up, shooting people on 6th Street. These are the sleeper cells.
Yeah.
So I think ICE has a purpose now. I'm starting to see.
Yeah, and sadly, there's some people that will kind of ignore some of those red flags when they see it and pretend it doesn't exist when it actually does. I think that another thing that I've noticed is and that you probably picked up on is kind of the difference in perspective that you get when you start looking at a global perspective. Like, when most people just kind of think at the war in Iran, they're like, oh, Iran bad. They have this chant about America, blah, blah, blah. But they don't kind of go and like connect the dots like, oh, wait a minute. So we hit Venezuela, and that was, essentially a lot of that was about resources and oil. And then if you hit Iran, a lot of that is, okay, you have the Suez Canal, and then you also have oil and energy exports and other things as well. And then you go and you start thinking back about what's going on with China, like how China was basically essentially exposing the fact that money isn't actually real, but resources are real. And that if we can go and put a kind of like a hold on things like the rare earth metals, then we can go and change things politically. And they did that. And so we also kind of saw basically that the rules or the supposed rules that we write down on paper are just basically an agreement that's just kind of like a friendly agreement that isn't really something that's never been real. People don't want to go with it, like the whole taking over Crimea thing.
I mean, look at the ICC. I did a video. You know what? Actually, no, I did my research, but I never recorded it because I got too bored while I was recording it. I think I was exhausted. I was burnt out. But this is last year. Go look up how many people the ICC has actually arrested. It's not a very impressive number. It makes them look like a useless organization, just like the UN. The UN watches genocides happen. They watched the Rwandan genocide happen. They were literally there when the Serbs were doing their genocide in Bosnia, right? And they told the UN pretty much to get the hell on, and they did. And the UN had tanks, and these organizations and these policies are just for show. I'm not saying that they don't help. I think the NATO is more of a deterrent than the UN. The NATO is more important than the UN. The UN just delivers vaccines and sends food. But But a lot of people don't know that the U.S. dollar is backed by oil, which is backed that's pretty much enforced through the U.S. military. That's why we do the stuff that we do, unfortunately. So people are not understanding that it's a chess move to say clearly, to basically try to control what's going on in Iran. Because again, Iran has control over the Strait of Hormuz. You see, they have the ability to weaponize it. Where I'm at in Sri Lanka right now, there's gas lines on there's at least about 60 to 100 cars outside of every gas station right now, every night. That is the power that they have. So the entire point of us wanting to take that is to prevent stuff like that. They've done it in the 70s already with the oil embargo. This is very shallow. This is why history is important. They've already done this.
The fact that history kind of repeats itself, or at the very least rhymes.
Yeah, they've already done this.
And it's not even just oil too, because they also have like something like natural gas as well. And then China's like the major energy importer in the world. So when you start coming for energy supplies, that does actually impact them.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody that's popped up over here. I put the link, so I'm gonna see about checking out like a few clips real quick, and then maybe in a minute or two we'll roll out.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, but again, for those people that are American, that enjoy the spending power of the U.S. dollar, that enjoy the U.S. embassy burning off when you need them the most, and that are also at the same time complaining about the rise of cost of living over the past decade in the United States, the last thing you should be trying to do is support Iran right now. Because if they win and they start making oil traded in yuan rather than dollars, that weakens the dollar, fool. That means your life is going to get worse.
Yeah, that actually ties back into a little bit of what happened with Rome. Like Rome oh shoot, you don't have the link? Yeah, you have the link. Let me paste it again. So it's saying it. I wonder if Passport OG is still in there. But yeah, so like what Rome had, and I might have mentioned this before, like originally they had like a huge percent of silver that was in their Roman dinar. And then later on, as time went by, it became a little bit less, 70%, 60%, and then going all the way down to like something like 15% or 10%. So you are actually like working your butt off as a middle-class worker, trying to make something out of yourself in life. And then so you have these Roman dinars that now are effectively worthless.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen that happen. That happened in Germany after World War I too, where their currency was so bad that they used it for firewood, basically, and toilet paper.
Yeah, it's like and then like our system is really based on like fractional based lending. So what we have isn't really what we really actually have.
Yeah, no, in America is all fake.
Oh shoot, that's another thing that I probably forgot to mention. There is like the difference in the system. Like over there in certain places, you just need to have the money to drop down, and over here everything is like kind of like fraction is basically based off of debt, credit loans and stuff like that. Let me add Passport up.
There's even times that you can't even sign a lease for an apartment if your credit is not good. I met somebody that had the entire lease up front in cash and still couldn't get the place to stay because their credit was bad, which makes no sense. There's no risk for that business if you pay in full, but that's how the United States works.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what's up, OG?
Hey, salute, sirs.
Salute.
I wanted to ask Austin, have you had any trouble with getting getting shaken down, like when you're trying to cross borders, like people trying to extract money out of you, like pay this or we're not going to let you cross, or people been up on the up and up?
Not Not crossing borders, but within the country, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Still got that problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no,
Yeah,
that's
that's
not going anywhere for sure.
Yeah. That's one of the unfortunate parts about, I mean, Africa's going to have to, you can't have businesses if people can't. Yeah. That's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
All right. Keep going, guys. I don't want to take it over.
Oh shoot, we were just talking about like the decline of society.
Well,
and how things.
I'm sure, Austin, you can see it. Like, what's really happening is that that unipolar moment of America basically let the boomers live an exaggerated luxury life at the expense of the rest of the world. So what's kind of happening now is, like, the global South is kind of getting a little bit more wealth, and in one way it's great for a large number of people in the world, and in one way it's not very good for Americans. So there's that balance. So I mean, Americans are used to having 2-car garages and 2-story houses, and you got people that are first getting the first cell phones and maybe even getting a car. So I mean, if you're a global citizen, then you're looking at what's happening and saying there's good and bad. If you're strictly American, you're panicking right now. You got to panic because this is not good for the dollar. It's not. So
yeah, essentially we had opulence that was built on the backs of other countries being pressed down.
Yeah, it's just a very unique moment where everywhere else in the world was just rebuilding from World War II, and America was like, we're not. So now everybody's got factories in Vietnam, they got factories in China, they got factories, they're building stuff in Africa, and those kids want a piece of the dream. So it's going to come at somebody's expense, right? So I mean, it's 2026. The world is flat. Thomas Friedman.
This is why we need to kind of be invested in these other places while they're on the rise. Like all the projections and a lot of these places, it's basically the GDP rises outside of the states.
Yeah. Well, it's a good idea to be a global citizen. You got to be a global citizen. Like, you got to understand the world is bigger than America, because it is bigger than America. It is bigger than America. That's just the best way to say it. I mean, Austin, I'm sure you know that. You know that now.
Yeah.
What are you
100%.
reading now? What are you reading, Austin? Because I can tell you're reading a lot of stuff. What are you reading?
I'm reading about because I've seen some people talking about buying gold and silver, so I'm actually looking at that now.
Shit. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse.
Oh,
damn, you read my mind, man. I was just in the shop today doing the same doggone thing. Yep. Are you worried about moving it? Where are you going to keep it?
Well, no, I know that they have, I don't know people's experience with this, but I know that they have companies in Singapore where you could buy it online and they have it at the vault.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So you listen to Sean Fu, aren't you?
No. I don't know who that is. Okay. But I've heard, I read Nomad Capitalist book and he was talking about that.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
No, so you're going to keep it in Singapore, not in the States. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, if I could do it in the States, I would. I would trust it more in my home country where I have better, judicial rights if something goes wrong.
Yeah. But it just reminds you that we have options. Like, Singapore's an option. You have the Hong Kong Gold Exchange. I mean, I guess Europe is an option. America's an option. So, yeah, it goes back to that being a global citizen again.
Yeah, 100%.
By the way, everybody has their own view of like how to get out of here. By the way, like I think you, like Austin, I think one of the main things that you've mentioned is the getting into like global trade, like the system of basically just kind of like transporting different things and importing, the import-export business. Also, we have like Theo that's really heavy into getting guys into AWS and cloud so that they can remote work. That's the other strategy that I've heard going out and around. And So basically everybody had, and then there's the content creator niche where like, okay, if you're like elite level in your particular field and area of expertise, then you go ahead and you start a channel and you start kind of talking about some of the different things that you know about and that you can consult on as an expert in your field.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes, and yes.
I think you were working on some of that AWS stuff, OG, right?
Yeah, I'm in Theo's class. I'm in there. Now you could do the job route, which I mean I think there's some opportunities, but I think it's going to get very, very competitive now with this job market. But you can still use the infrastructure to do business building, which is where I'm really kind of looking. So I mean, I'm sure that you've seen it, Austin. Like there's so many people that if they had $500, they could build an amazing business, and you could just be an angel investor. You could just say, hey, listen, trust me for a year. I got you. Give me X amount of your profit or X% of your profits. But the problem is you if you don't have a kind of legal system that can nail that person down to that contract, you can't do it. But if you do, then you can find someone that's hardworking, that's, you know, a vendor or something, and say, I'll get it in here, you sell it, and we'll do an XY split. And that's one of the unfortunate things about, you know, Africa doing all of this kind of like this hand greasing kind of shakedown stuff, because you can't really trust your business partners. And that's, you can't build a business if you can't trust your partners. So
I think I heard O'Shea talk about that.
Say again?
Oh, I was just saying, I think I remember hearing O'Shea talk about that. He's been on a tear recently about stuff like that happening to him.
I mean, look, I mean, I do business here in Japan, and they have a solid tax structure. I have lawyers. I have people I talk to, accountants. Boom, boom, boom. You do it this right way. Boom. This is how it works. But I can't imagine having to grease palms and which politician and just, no, that's not it. That's not the play, man. It's not. So
I think I stepped on your toes. You finna say something, right, Austin?
Huh?
You finna say something. I get cut you off a little bit.
No. I'm listening.
Oh, okay. It was about the whole.
I mean, I would imagine, and I mean, are you based, like, are you looking to be like a permanent resident in Kenya? Is that what you're looking to do, Austin?
I mean, yes, Kenya. I mean, I've already, you know, established myself there, but like, I would never get citizenship there. And I even heard.
Oh no, I don't want citizenship.
Yeah, I don't think I want. Yeah, becoming a permanent resident, there's a very time-consuming and expensive process. Even if I want to do that right now, I can do it, unless if I had a baby or something there.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it really shouldn't be that hard. If you pay taxes for 3-4 years, you should be able to get an apartment, come in and out of the country. And if they're still making that hard in 2026, then I mean, what are y'all doing? So
let me boil your blood real quick, both of y'all. Like, let's watch something to piss us off temporarily, and then you can respond to it.
I know that go overseas to find wives are not great dudes.
Can you be more specific?
Yeah, they're pervy.
And disgusting as a person, knowing full well that you are going to another country, seeking out women that you perceive as easier to manipulate, easier to control, and easier to take advantage of.
And for them to go in search of spouses who they feel are going to be more subservient to them and do what they want, basically some sort of indentured servitude.
It's easier for these men to go overseas, get one of these victims.
A lot of these passport bros are exploiting a power imbalance economically.
Y'all are taking advantage of these women. If you feel that you need to go to Antarctica to marry a polar bear.
But they're still doing the, oh, we're just going to leave and go to another country and find women. Or you're going to die alone. Good luck dying alone with your cats.
Get a polar bear.
Hold up. Have any of y'all have any experiences with any polar bears?
No, but
let me let it roll.
Yeah, it is much easier for these passport bros to go to other countries and exploit younger, more impressionable, less educated or uneducated girls living in poverty.
Passport bros, they go over there and they think they just king. They just think they just king over there.
Sir, you ain't king nothing.
Ladies in foreign countries, ma'am, when you see them passport bros leading through the crowd with their beer belly and bald heads and colorful ugly shirts, this is how they live in America. This is it.
They show up to Thailand with their little 50K salary and they feel like gods because the dollar goes so much further here. Pretty Thai women flirt with them because of the elevated status their perceived wealth gets them. And
You're not going to be able to have fun banter with her. She might be more feminine, but she might not feel like your best friend.
Nobody wants to do banter. Nobody wants to do that shit.
Well, that's crazy though. Like she's sitting here talking about like, well, they might be more feminine, but you're not gonna be able to have banter with her. I'm like
yeah, they might be more.
Like, you gonna just skip over the fact that a man wants a woman, and then talk about banter?
Yeah, no, she's basically saying like they might be more feminine, but they're not gonna argue with you the way I do.
Yeah, like they think that that's some sort of like the flex, like that's something cute.
That's
like,
not a flex. Yeah.
Like nobody wants to go out into the world and bust their hump and then have the stress of work, come home to have more stress, and then call that cute.
Well, they're worried about the fact that the guys that traditionally would have been tricking on them are not tricking on them anymore. I mean, there's not guys that they want to marry. If they want to marry them, they would have married them. So it's a kind of like strange kind of way of mate guarding, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me because if you don't want to be with a $50,000 guy, then why do you care what he's doing? But it's a joke.
Let's see, where's Tunnel Runner? I thought I saw him. I see him in the chat, but I don't see him popping up over here.
But Austin, you were saying it earlier about the guy. I mean, I don't think you should root for anybody because what's going to happen is going to happen. But I mean, if you want to enjoy the power of the dollar, you kind of sort of need America to win.
Yeah,
you need America to win. I mean, they don't win, it's gonna hurt. I mean, you were talking about people lining up to get oil. Like I mean, if you're in the first world, you're not worried about that. The oil just goes up a little bit because you get the oil first. But what happens in the second world, third world countries? They're lining up to get more expensive oil.
Yeah.
So people don't understand that. You don't understand how buffered Americans are from the reality of the rest of the world.
Exactly.
What's up, brothers? I hear y'all talking.
How's it going? You enjoying those good, delicious pancakes?
Yeah, she made them. Actually, she did a little special today. She made them.
I knew it.
She improving every day. Every day she's improving, doing a better job for me. I appreciate her.
Knew it.
And we appreciate hearing about how you appreciate it.
Yeah. Got my coffee
think
right.
About that whole thing about like they might be more feminine, but you're not going to be able to have banter with her.
Oh, all you got to do is learn the language. I mean, if you can talk, you can talk. Just learn the language. That's what I think a lot of guys need to understand, especially you're going to Asia or you going to Latin America. You got to learn the language. It's going to make things a lot easier. It's going to open up a lot more women for you. If you're trying to go over to these places and just speak English, it's kind of difficult. You just lose a lot of women because they don't speak the language. You have to speak the language, and the better you speak it, the easier it is going to deal with a lot of women. You don't have to go over there right away and know everything, but you got to be striving to become, bilingual.
Yeah, and this whole thing about like banter, like, do you really like the banter?
No.
Yeah, some things is universal.
Austin, what is the language of West Africa? Which is the one that you would suggest people pick up? East Africa.
East Africa. I mean, Swahili works in Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda. I believe it's even in Rwanda too, in northern Mozambique, which you'll never go there because it's infested with terrorists. But I believe South Sudan speaks Swahili too, so that's like their regional language. Yeah.
So I'm sure you know some workable Swahili.
Nah, not at all.
No, really?
Yeah,
So
because
that
they
many people speak English.
yeah, English is their second official language, so they have 2 official languages. So like you don't really all the signs are like not even that much stuff is in Swahili there.
Now, how much Chinese are you seeing over there? A lot, a little bit.
There's
growing?
no shortage of. There's no shortage. There's plenty of them there.
That's what I thought. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can take some of your Chinese that you know, and they kind of put it over there.
We'll lead you. Nah, not shit. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let me go. Oh, is Usual trying to come up? Nah, he ain't coming up. I don't think. Because he does say a good bit about Uganda. Like, this is kind of the funny thing. Like, you have like Austin like on Kenya. You'll have Usual Business on Uganda, and everybody has their favorite. And then Tom Runny, I think you'll kind of like promote like Colombia.
Yeah, Colombia.
What's that coastal city in Kenya? I hear Dr.
Mombasa?
Marifa talks about Mombasa. Which you like? Are you more preferential to Mombasa or to Nairobi?
Nairobi, 100%. The infrastructure is better
Really?
in Nairobi. There's more stuff to do in Nairobi. The weather, I like hot weather, but there's consistent cool weather in Nairobi. You have more of it's more Muslims on Mombasa. Like it's pretty much, I mean, that it doesn't affect you, but I mean, it just depends on what you want to be around, like, because things are just different. So it's a slower paced city there. There's nothing to do in Mombasa. Like, people that go to Kenya will tell you that Mombasa is great. None of them live there.
Okay. So your 30s is Mombasa, maybe. Okay.
I mean, even dudes that's in their 60s that come to Nairobi, they don't even choose Mombasa.
Really?
That's a 2-day trip at max, and you can go back home.
Okay. All right. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Cartagena is a good place to stop, but to me, Medellin is more for, having a family and raising, and then just more stuff. Well, city life, because I'm not it's like, to me, Cartagena is like Miami, and Medellin is more like California. You could, so it's just different.
Medellin is like constantly like spring like weather, right?
Yeah, it's the city of eternal spring.
That's what Nairobi is.
Yeah. So it's kind of
LA.
formed like California, it's in the valley. It's in the valley, so you don't have any bugs and stuff like that, and you get the constant spring weather.
Well, I'm sure that I'm sure you met a lot of Americans in Kenya or just in your travels. What is it that you've come across that has irritated you the most, Austin?
Narrow that one down a little more.
Well, okay, so in terms of like, are they too boisterous, or like they want to change the whole world to make it like America, or they're complaining all the time? Like, what are some tendencies you notice? You're like, dude, if you wanted that, you should just stay in America.
Yeah, I've ran into that a few times, but I've noticed that most Americans that I bumped into, especially in Africa, aren't really trying to change. And if we do complain, it's valid things to complain about. Like them showing up to deliver a wash, them lying to you, telling you they down the street, and they show up 4 hours later with the wash machine. That's what happened. But yeah,
that is African timing, bro.
There you go, Usual. There you are. One of these days we're gonna have like a battle of the locations, like Colombia versus Kenya versus Uganda, and versus OG, you over there in Japan?
I am.
Versus Japan.
I just came back from Japan like last month, man. It was great.
Yeah, Japan is I mean, it's not really comparable because Japan has first world infrastructure, so it's quite different.
It's a good place, though. I like the convenience of everything that's in the country, but me, I don't know. I'm just a country guy, so I just love Uganda, though, man. It's just something about the countryness of everything that I just like about the country, bro. Fun place. If you can get over the begging and and like the small little, the lights going off and lights going on kind of issue. But as long as you got a generator, I think Uganda is probably one of the best countries to go to. Just my personal opinion. The ladies, the food, the culture. No, not the food. The culture necessarily. The weather, perfect. Now the food need a little bit of spice to it. But other than that, I like it, bro. Like other than maybe we putting a little bit more extra spice in Ugandan food, I love it. I love the place.
Well, speaking of food, though, what is the food that's the gotta eat food in East Africa?
I don't know. Go ahead.
I was saying you go first, then I go after y'all. You do Kenya, then I do Uganda. Yes.
Kenya doesn't really have too many
Don't say that. Damn.
Like, if you go to Japan, their dish is sushi. If you go to China, what is it like? Wonton soup, all that kind of stuff. Kenya doesn't have something I think that is like just Kenyan. Like you can find ugali and that spinach looking stuff. They got that everywhere in East Africa. Everywhere. They got it all over Africa. They got it in West Africa and Namibia. They got it. But go ahead.
No, I was saying basically Africa as a whole is kind of like the Caribbean. Everybody got the same variety of the same thing. They just do a little differently. But yeah, basically it's the same thing. Like everybody may do oxtail, right? But everybody want to do their oxtail different and claim that it's special. That's Africa, right? Everybody got greens and everybody got pops or ugali or whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing. Or fufu. It's the same thing, just quote unquote maybe a different method and how they make it. Or maybe the grain may be different, but it's the same thing.
Is African food as good or better than, say, I don't know, Creole, like Southern cooking, or not? It's not there yet.
Ooh.
Okay, this is my opinion. Don't fight me because I don't want my Ugandan chick to see this and be fighting me. But I tell her all the time, I think Southern Creole food is probably one of the best foods on the planet.
Yes.
But I think Ugandan food is the best food on the planet because by far it's the most healthier and it's the cleanest food. Like if you ever touch Ugandan pineapple or Ugandan food, you can tell like this food is fresh. Like this bird probably died 2 hours before you ate it. Mm-hmm. That's how you can feel the freshness in everything. Like the minerals in it, just like everything is good. But like for when it comes to Uganda, I would say the best food that they have is Lawombo. That's like their signature dish.
What is
for
that? Rice?
No, chicken Lawombo is like it's a stew dish made with what is it? I don't know what kind of cooking leaves, but it's basically like a chicken dish wrapped in leaves and let's say certain kind of like potatoes and herbs that they cook usually under the ground. It's by tradition, that's how it's supposed to be made, but they do it on a pot now, like how everybody else do it. But it's supposed to be one of those specialty dishes that you come around like when Thanksgiving or something like that, or somebody important come. That's usually when they do chicken Lawombo or beef Lawombo, usually.
I was seeing somebody in the chat was talking about shrimp and grits, and it's like we have so many places over here in New Orleans that do shrimp and grits.
Bro, I tell people, I told my Ugandan girl, I was like, if I come out here and bring out shrimp and grits, they gonna lose their mind. I cooked shrimp and grits for her grandmama one time. She literally looked at me like that was the greatest thing she ever heard, or not heard, but ever tasted, because they don't really have grits like that usually in Uganda, at least, right? Maybe in Kenya, maybe they may have it. I don't know. About to have Austin a little bit more about that one.
Oh yeah, don't they have like those hard grits out there? Like they don't do like the creamy stuff.
Ugali, that's what it's called. Ugali out there, bro. And that ugali is. I hate that ugali, bro. Personally,
yeah, I don't eat it. Say it again. I don't eat it that much. I don't eat ugali that much either. I don't dislike it, but I never asked for it.
Yeah, it's just, bro. It's one of them things that you get. It's acquired taste kind of thing, bro. It's only quote unquote ugali I think is good. It's the fufu they have in West Africa. So if it's not West African fufu, I just basically just dismiss it.
So, Austin, if you don't mind me asking, how American is your diet? Like how I'm trying to guess the best way to ask is like, how many times a week do you feel like you need to eat something that's like bread based, potato based, American, or have you gotten pretty much away from it?
I don't eat bread at all. I eat potatoes all the time. So I don't think, I eat potatoes every day. I don't think I've gotten away from it at all.
Like stir fried potatoes, like fried potatoes. How you eat them?
Whenever I cook them, I mean, it's either baked potatoes. Maybe I fry them myself.
Okay,
but no, I don't do that. Huh?
So you gotten pretty much away from your American food taste.
Yeah. I'm not really that much of a diet guy like that. I mean, I need to be, but yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, it's sounding like if I go and I just set up shop somewhere and I start selling some shrimp Creole, I'm just gonna take it all over. Like I'm just gonna have the most popping restaurant.
Yeah, you could bring it to Colombia. They would love it.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing currently.
It's got tourists. If it's got a lot of tourists, you could definitely do it because there's always demand for like Southern cooking, Creole cooking, fried chicken-ish, like burgers. If you're a place with a lot of foreigners, you can do it, but you have to be in a semi-first world country to do that. So
I would say if you actually
in Colombia doing good business with Jamaican food.
Oh yeah. That's why I tell Black Americans we need to be doing with the same thing Jamaicans do. We need a Southern restaurant in almost every country, in every parish, every county, every state around the planet, just like the way Jamaicans do. Like I even saw a Jamaican restaurant in Namibia, in the middle of the Namibian desert, bro.
Really?
There's a Jamaican restaurant. I'm like, we ain't doing enough, bro. I'm sorry,
right,
we ain't working hard enough, man.
I got my Jamaican stepmother helping my wife learn some meals and stuff like that. So she's trying to help her to get that Jamaican taste in some of our food.
Well,
Bro,
one of the things about if you get your hands on chicken, if you can make chicken a certain way that's not too expensive, you can sell that to anybody.
Yeah.
Now, if you start talking about
chicken
beef and pork, it depends, but
Chicken is universal.
Just need the
but,
seasoning, just jerk chicken everywhere.
Oh, that chicken jerk. Yeah, it's everywhere.
I mean, they got it in Thailand for I think I just saw a video. I think it was a guy. I think he was Jamaican necessarily or something like that, like half American, half Jamaican, whatever. He moved to Thailand, started selling jerk chicken necessarily out of Thailand. I think he got one of the best restaurants necessarily in Thailand. He just got his stuff in the news. So that basically, that's telling you you can bring your cultural expertise to these places and thrive. You just have to be able to know how to package it correctly. And I think the average person doesn't know how to properly package these things and give it to the people properly in a manner that people can accept. Because even the best things, if you don't properly present it to people, they won't accept it. So I really believe that we got to work on more likely that kind of information or doing those things. Just my opinion.
What kind of chain restaurants you guys seeing where you are? Are there any
in Africa?
Or just Africa for you, Austin, and Tonawanda for you in Colombia, and usual business for you in Uganda. Like, are you seeing any at all?
Yeah, I mean, like if you have like Galitos, they have Pizza Hut, they have KFC, Domino's, Papa John's.
Really? Are you serious?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
What?
Yes.
Damn. Oh man.
KFC chicken is every place, man. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, KFC chicken is like the granddaddy of chicken out here, especially in Uganda. Like when I would literally be talking to a girl and she was like, "Oh, you want to go buy KFC?" And she make KFC as if it's like some grand, meal.
Yeah.
To me, it's just like this is KFC, but to her, she love it. And hey, I don't care. Hey, with 15,000 shillings to me, bro, I can lose it.
15,000
really?
Yeah, 15,000 shillings ain't nothing though, bro. 15,000 shillings is like a couple dollars, bro. I'm gonna do my math.
That's like over $100.
No. If I said 15,000 shillings, but you gotta remember that the math is different, you know. And from I think it was the Kenya to Uganda though. So
yeah.
But, hey, bro, I like I said, I love it. The only thing that I say that they probably don't get right is the pizza. Like I don't know what it is.
I disagree with that.
Can't do pizza. Gotta have pizza.
I
don't
disagree
do
with
it
that.
all.
Dang, Kenya has Papa John's. Wow.
Yeah, Papa John's is great in Kenya, if you ask me.
Hey man, I need to open up some Popeyes. Like seriously, like
They got
Popeyes
that
is
here.
underrepresented. You serious?
They in Sri Lanka, they got it, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. They got it Sri Lanka, they got it Korea, maybe China, but not Japan yet. Not Japan.
So what we're learning is that everybody in here on the panel, we're all hungry. You're all probably gonna grab like lunch right after this.
Hey,
Well,
buddy,
but
somebody
we're
just made
used
some
to a
food for
certain
me.
taste. We grew up with a certain taste. That's all. I mean, like it's a very. I mean, cheese, meat is a very first world taste. Most people don't eat cheese and meat in the same meal, so that's just
Really?
That's the thing for sure.
So,
we're lucky.
you know what? I
Lucky.
started figuring out having honey in in your dishes is actually some expensive stuff. I didn't know that until I actually left the United States, and I was like, "Oh man, I need some honey," and it was like, "Well, that's gonna cost you." And I was like, "Really?" I didn't know. Like certain places in the world, getting honey is expensive work. That's actually really expensive.
Well, you're eating real honey. America,
Yeah,
you got to go to Whole Foods to get real honey. So
Yeah, cheese is not as common though. I mean, like in East Africa and Kenya, cheese is very expensive because nobody's buying it. I don't think there's any
nobody eats it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they're intolerant, right? Are they a little like intolerant to cheese like that?
Nah, that's the cheese capital of the planet, bro. Like they live. Those are cattle herding people, bro, in East Africa.
Oh yeah.
That's literally a culture.
But I mean, cheese is a preservation process for milk. So if people are just drinking straight milk or using it for other reasons, it's different. But I mean, cheese is a bit of a luxury. We just forget that as Americans.
Yeah, that's right. Because we're talking about like East Africa, not West Africa.
Yeah,
right?
Boy, that West Africa is this whole little monster, bro. The more I learn, the more I had to say I open my eyes. I was like, the difference between East and West Africa is
Also, what is your impression of West Africa?
What is
Is
my
it
what?
livable? Your impression of West Africa, is it livable yet? Not yet.
I mean, you could live there. I strongly disliked it. I disliked it. It's too expensive for what you get. It's way like you get more bang for your buck in Namibia or East Africa or Botswana, South Africa compared to West Africa, especially Ghana. Man, I remember they had like $2 million apartments. Man, there would be goats outside. Yeah, a $2 million apartment in the blue sewage water is running on the street next to you. Like,
oh man, come on, West
Oh,
Africa.
no. Hey, Austin, have you seen the video of the goat? Have y'all seen the goats? Like, like you'll buy your decent apartment, but they got goats eating your garden and stuff. I hope y'all seen that.
Man,
yeah, that's like so in Kenya, if you have $700-800 a month, maybe $100,000 apartment, like there's no animals outside. Like there's just people, and like it's a nicer neighborhood. $2 million apartment in Ghana, like it's severely overpriced. It's a scam.
You said $2 million or 2 million shillings?
$2 million US dollar apartments.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah,
that's crazy. That is crazy, man.
That's wild.
In
yeah, I think
2026?
Ghana just capitalized on the coming back to whatever that return home.
Oh, that's
wherever.
right. That's right. Come home.
Return.
Yeah.
Year return. Yeah, they just capitalized on that and they just hiked up the prices. I was there in 2023. The receipts still had a COVID tax on them.
Speaking of
And
return, like
in East Africa is just zooming past the rest of Africa.
Huh?
I said, speaking of return, weren't you talking about coming back out to the States for a little bit?
Yeah. I'll be there for maybe 3 or 4 weeks in May.
You going to go to the Houston
we gotta
spring break,
get you
Austin?
like properly prepped up. Let's get you aggravated some more.
So I learned that all passport bros are just predators. I don't like the man has gray hairs, they bad built, they're old, and then they have this young Filipino woman. Like, it's giving predator.
There's an Asian woman begging for child support from her black man. So yeah, they got to go overseas, and those type of black men got to go overseas. But not all black men are like that. And find a new source, like the narcissist on a plane or a boat are.
I'm not. So check this, like that whole thing of like, okay, I thought that whole narcissist thing was like dead. I thought that was done. I thought that was over with. But like anything that a chick doesn't like ends up becoming narcissist.
If you have self-respect, apparently you are a narcissist in the American society. If you have any decent respect for yourself, you are a narcissist in the eyes of these individuals. So it is what it is, as they say.
Well, they don't realize how amenable Western men actually are. I mean, if they think there's a problem, go live in the Middle East, go live in Southeast Asia. Like, there's so many places where it's so much more difficult for women, and they're happier and they're living different lives, and they don't want to go to America because they can go to America. So like, why are you the ones complaining the most? It doesn't make sense.
I remember you had like a clip, OG, like where like this lady was like trying to like fight this dude on a plane. Like, it was like I guess because of whatever she thought that he was going to fly to or whatever. But like she wanted to square up with dude on the plane, on the flight.
Yeah, that's when you know that you can get him in trouble. And that's not most countries on the planet.
Yeah.
Most countries on the planet, it's like, hey, listen, we got other stuff to do. We don't have trouble. We don't have time to stroke your feelings.
Yeah.
It's too much Marvel. I blame Marvel for this. Somebody,
well, but it's unsustainable. That's the bigger problem. It's unsustainable. I mean, if the women aren't having children and they're not marrying down and starting families, then where are your next taxpayers coming from? That's an existential crisis for first world countries. And so, how do you solve it? Just trying to figure that out now.
Well, you end up like, one of the things they try to do with solving is like, okay, let's just like open it up and just bring like other people in and whatnot. But then you have like a lot of different consequences for that as well. And the thing about marketing and the thing about like societies is like our other gender, like they have a lot of a push right now to the whole me, my, I type of thing. So it's all really heavily on what can I get right now, and it's not looking a whole lot at what's gonna be around the corner in the future.
Oh, it's a solipsism. I want what I want right now. How's that going to work out?
Yeah, and when it's time to pay the price, here, let's just hand this bill off to somebody else.
Listen, man, we are in a for guys that have passports and guys that are able to move around a little bit, this is a very unique moment in history. It really is. Like, it's just, I never thought I'd see anything like this. This is super unique. I mean, the idea that you're going to have a G-Wagon and you're going to drive it to Publix to buy a gallon of milk. Hey, listen, you don't understand how big of a luxury that's been for Americans. Like, that's a huge luxury.
How I look at this is the most beautiful time to be actually technically alive, because you living in a great time of the Pirate King. Like literally, you're living in a great time of the Pirate King. It's the great change up, right? So for those who are actually working and putting themselves in position to actually thrive, this will be a good time for you. for the ones who believe that the world is never going to change and Rome will last forever. I like to say people believe Rome gonna last forever. Rome never did last forever. There is no internal empire, bro. Always look out for your best options. But like I said, it's a great opportunity for change. So for me, I'm actually looking forward to it because when great change happen, great opportunities are available.
That's true.
Oh yeah, that's Delta. Like a change in something is going to go somewhere. So positioning yourself with that bucket to get your piece of whatever is going in that other direction makes sense.
If I don't mind asking, have you been to India, Austin?
No, I was gonna go there after here, but I've already bought my ticket.
You want to go?
Yeah. I'm trying to go as many places as possible.
Okay. So you're going out of curiosity. Okay. All right.
Yeah, out of curiosity. That's a good way of putting it. Out of curiosity, but
because I don't see a lot in India that's really enticing.
Be safe though.
Like what?
I just don't see a lot of in India that I really want to
go to.
Nah.
Yeah, bro.
I'm trying to be nice.
I know what he really wanted to say. That's why it's so funny to me.
Yeah, I mean it's nice, it's nice stuff to see there, but they're just very unsanitary. And I think outside of maybe Japan and South Korea and Taiwan, I haven't been to those places, but I know that they don't have the reputation of being very unsanitary. But in Asia, it's very unsanitary.
Really?
So Asians they do some of the nastiest stuff I've ever seen. I mean, but again, Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan, I know for a fact Japan is clean. I haven't been, but they have that reputation. But India,
you're right. I've only been to Japan, really, so that's the only place I know. So I know them to be very clean people.
Thailand, Vietnam. I've seen some of the nastiest stuff I've seen in my life was there. So.
But make sure you show us the Taj Mahal, though.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I would go to India for, is to see that kind of stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's good for viewership too. I mean, the biggest population in the world is there, so I mean, you're gonna get some traction going there.
Sure.
And
I would definitely say. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying being black in Vietnam is gonna give some traction too.
True. All I have to say is, man, be careful of the food that you. I mean, show all the food, but don't eat it.
I only eat at like Western style restaurants when I'm in Asia for that reason. I don't trust eating street food.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it for the fans, bro. You gotta do it for the fans. One time for the chat. Gotta eat that for the chat one time.
You talking about them Indian you talking about the videos with the people got their feet up all on the thing, man. Listen, stop.
And then the rat run across the plate and take something off the plate and run off. Oh God. All right, I'm done. I'm gonna stop, please.
Oh, stop.
All right, I'm not gonna hold y'all up too much longer. I'm gonna go ahead and roll out in a bit. Oh, hey, Afro Merch is in there. What's up, my guy? I see you in the chat.
Damn. Man, them Indian videos be killing me, dog.
They hit my soul. I'm not gonna lie to you, because see, I've been to Suriname, I've been to Guyana, so I know the food tastes good, right? But then you go to the home base and it's like, hold on, something's off here. Because I'm telling you, you've been to Guyana, you've been to Suriname, so I have a decent understanding of how Indian culture actually operates. But then when you go to like the South India, you see the rat take the food off the plate and run off, and you'd be like, oh, wait a minute, bro, I gotta something here is not right. Something here is not right. But when you go to these different cultures, it's good to at least, like I said, absorb the lay of the land and take what you can and bring it back to your people if you can. Stop laughing, bro. You want to make me laugh again. But it's a difference. I tell people, go and actually explore different cultures in different areas, because you really see the difference in how people function. So definitely.
Correct.
Definitely give you different appreciation for things when you actually see this stuff. Yeah. But by all means, before we end up rolling out, everybody shout yourselves out. Austin, let them know how they can get into some of the import export biz stuff, and roll it on.
Yeah, so I'm Austin Holloman again. Thank you for having me. If you guys are looking for my online products such as webinars where we've done import export, doing agricultural businesses in Africa, investing in gold and silver, something that we spoke about earlier, that's all at austinholloman.shop. And if you have any questions, you can email me, austin@expatfreedomsystem.com.
All right.
Wow, you do agriculture? I didn't know that. I may need to hit you up then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, essentially what I'll do is when I go to these places, or specific like Kenya, I'll find people that have been in the business for decades, and we'll do webinars, live webinars for those people.
Okay. I appreciate that, because it took me a long time to get set up out here in Uganda, just finding a proper person, a proper location. Then I started selling chickens, and that's a whole different battle in itself. So trust me, trust me, I understand. It's hard work out here. It's very hard work.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but I appreciate it again.
I like this. I like to see the blossoming of all. You got a lot of negative, or you were lightning rod early on, and then people forget and they move on, but you persevered. I like to see that. I like to see that from a young brother. Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Make them hate you some more. Yeah, make them hate you. If you ain't got no haters, you ain't doing nothing. So I like to see it. Like to see it, man.
Thank you. All right, man. I appreciate you having me on, man.
Yeah. I'm Passport OG. You can check me out, and let you guys get on to the rest of your day. So y'all have a good one.
You as well.
Appreciate it. Definitely come and talking to all of y'all guys.